Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Happy Saturday as usual. It's been a while. It's been a minute since I've been here, so I'm glad to be back, folks. So, for today's stick mobility class, by the way, I'm Coach Ray. We're going to need access to 3 sticks. So I'll have 2 long sticks and 1 short stick. So for the warm-up, we are going to go through full body. We're going to actually start from the top down. So we're going to work from the neck to shoulders to spine, hips, and then feet. We're going to kind of go through everything a little on a faster side today. So for the strength training aspect, we are going to get into a split squat position variation, work on driving the stick down, connect to those anterior tissues. We're going to go through a few more things. All right. So for the cool down, we're still going to focus on that superficial front line. So we're going to get into quite a few things today. Everybody ready to get warmed up? Yep. All right. So I'm actually going to start off with 1 stick here. So like I mentioned, I want to kind of go through the neck tissues first and work on the trap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about a shoulder width stance, and I want to have my feet pointed forward. The stick is going to be in front. So if you look from the side, I have the stick angled in towards me here. Now, from this position, I want to have my hands about roughly chest height, and I'm going to lightly drive that stick down and sink my hips down a little bit. Now, we want to make sure we have a nice, good, tall posture, and I'm going to pull my chin back. So I'm going to bring my neck into extension here, okay? And then I'm going to tilt my right ear towards my right shoulder, and I'm going to really drive that left shoulder down towards the hip. Then I'm going to come back up, and now I'm going to tilt to the opposite side. Breathe, back up to center, tilt to the right. Just want to go for a nice good stretch. Back to center, tilt to the left. Keep that neck in extension. Let's go opposite side one more time. Good, breathe. Back to the center, now to the left. Good. Back to center. Keeping that chin pulled back. I want to tuck my chin down towards my chest. Good. Back up. Back down towards the chest. Breathe. Back up. Back down toward the chest one more time. Back up. And ease off. Excellent, good. I'm gonna place the long stick down, and I'm gonna pick up the short stick here. We're gonna first start off with some kayaking. And so I'm gonna have my fingertips at the ends of the sticks like so. I'm gonna take about roughly hip width stance. I'm gonna start my left hand up. I'm gonna drive that left hand through. Now we don't want any movement in the spine, at least not yet. You wanna slowly work through that range of motion. Feel the shoulder blades gliding along the rib cage here. Good. Make sure you're breathing. Good. Now we're going to start to rotate side to side. So as the right hand comes up and over, I'm going to rotate to the left. As the left hand comes up and over, I'm going to rotate to the right. You want to try to get as much rotation as you can, because now we're getting the spine involved alongside the scapula. Good. Breathe. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent. Now we're going to take the stick. And so for here, I actually want to place the stick on top of my head just so my arms are at 90 degrees. Once your arms are there, you're at a good position. So we're going to work on external and internal rotation from that position. Now the main thing here is you want to keep the elbows out to the side. You don't want your elbows drifting back and forth. So where they're at, keep them there. So from here, get into a horse stance, feet are pointed forward, feet are about roughly, again, shoulder width apart. Squeeze the glutes so you lock those hips into extension. Now from here, I'm going to hover the stick away from the top of my head, and I'm going to compress the stick and I'm going to bring the stick down towards the floor as much as I comfortably can without pain. And again, I want to keep those shoulders or the elbows up high at shoulder height. Now I'm going to pull apart, and I'm going to bring the stick up, coming back. Good. Compress the stick, bring it down. We're only going about 30% tension here. Come down as far as you can, pull apart, come back up. Good, compress, back down again. Good, pull apart. Excellent, let's go one more time. Compress. And pull apart. And ease off. Perfect, good. And now we're gonna work with some dislocate. So the shoulder should be feeling a little looser. You should notice a little bit of an increase in range of motion as we go through that there. And now with the dislocates, we're gonna go with the tall position. And as we do this, we just wanna come up into an overhead position to best of our ability. If there's any pain or any discomfort, you can always reduce that range of motion to make sure that you're not getting to those pain ranges here. So I'm gonna grip the stick wider than shoulder width, quite a bit wider. If you need to, you can always start off a little bit wider than that if that's more comfortable. So from here, gonna have my feet facing forward. Again, with the shoulder width stance, drop my hips down a bit. I'm gonna pull the stick apart about 30%, and I'm gonna bring it up overhead. Try to keep those elbows as straight or locked out as you possibly can. Get to that tall position, control the rib cage. Now compress the stick at that overhead position and then bring it back down. Nice and slow, under control, still 30%. Once you get down to the bottom, pull apart again. Slowly bring the stick up overhead, under control. Good, compress, back down, nice and slow. Good. Let's go one more time. Pull the stick apart, bring it back up overhead. Keep it nice and controlled. Remember to control that rib cage here. Good, compress, back down, nice and slow. And ease off, excellent, good. Now, we're gonna get into using both of the long sticks. If you only have a long and a short stick, you can still use a short stick for this drill here. So, what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna take a step back. We're gonna focus on extension first, and then we're gonna add in the rotations along with that thoracic extension. So, feet are gonna be relatively wide. I wanna have the bottoms of the sticks in line with my big toe here. So feet are about shoulder width still. I wanna have my hands about shoulder height, maybe a little bit higher. You can always go higher if you like. That just means that you're not gonna hinge back as far, totally fine. So from here, I wanna lightly drive the sticks down. Shoulders are gonna go down towards the floor. And now from here, I'm gonna drive those hips back, reaching those hands out, trying to create a long spine as best as we can. Focus on that breathing. You should feel that thoracic spine opening up a little bit. A nice little stretch. Still driving those sticks down. Go ahead and come up nice and slow. Excellent. Now we're gonna start to add in those rotations. So drive the sticks down lightly, 20%. Hinge those hips back. Now, as we go into this rotation, I want you to pull your head back so your shoulders or arms can clear your head. So I'm gonna rotate both sticks to the right, and I want my head to be clear through. Now, I want to try to get my shoulders as vertical as possible. I'm gonna bring them back forward, and now I'm gonna rotate to the left. Good, you're gonna feel that deep, you're gonna feel a lot of rotation on the thoracic spine here. Back to center, rotate to the right again. back to center. Excellent. Rotate to the left. Let's go one more time each way. Back to center. Rotate to the right. Make sure you're breathing. Back to center. And rotate to the left. Excellent. Back to center. Come up nice and slow. And ease off. Excellent. Now we're going to get into the hips. So we're going to quickly go through working with anterior, posterior tilts. And then we're going to get into internal, external rotation just to get the hips moving around. All right. So what we're going to do here, feet are going to be wide. I do want my feet wider than shoulder width. It's going to create more of a challenge on the hips because now that movement is going to be restricted a little bit since the hips are going to be out a little wider. So both feet are facing forward. We don't want them angled out. Want them forward here. A little wider than shoulder width. Both sticks are angled in towards my toes. Hands are about shoulder height. I'm in a horse stance. I'm going to squat down a little bit. Make sure you keep a nice, good tall posture still. So from here, drive the sticks down, 30% tension. Keep that tension the entire time. I'm going to posteriorly tilt my pelvis, so I'm going to squeeze my glutes, driving my knees out. And then I'm going to do an anterior tilt. So now you should be feeling that tension in the low back tissues. Posterior tilt. Squeeze those glutes, drive those knees apart. That's extremely important. Anterior tilt. Good. Posterior tilt. Squeeze those glutes. Anterior tilt. Breathe. One more time. Posterior tilt. Good. Anterior tilt. Back to center. And ease off. And now we're going to bring the feet in nice and close. So with the internal external rotation here, I want to abduct the hip. So the angle of the sticks is actually going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to start with my right hip first. So my left stick's going to be at 12 o'clock, while the right stick's going to be at about roughly 2 o'clock. So I'll actually kind of have to show this a little bit from an angle. So feet are going to be together. I have my left stick at 12, right stick at about 2, and I want to have my sticks relatively vertical or about vertical or in alignment, parallel to one another. So I'm going to drive the sticks down, hands at shoulder height. We're going to go with 30% tension. I'm going to bring my right knee up, and I'm going to keep them between the sticks here. Now the knee doesn't move, but we're just going to rotate the hip. So I'm going to rotate that hip externally, touch the instep to the left stick, and then I'm going to bring my foot to the other stick. Now it's internal rotation. Let's go external rotation again. Push against the stick. Good. Internal rotation. Push the outside of that foot against the stick here. Good. External rotation. Good. Internal rotation. Good. One more time. External rotation. Good. Internal rotation. Back to center. Down nice and slow, and ease off. Now we're going to switch sides, so I'm going to turn forward here. So my right stick is going to be at 12, left stick's going to be about roughly 10 o'clock. Also, if your hips are really mobile, do not be afraid to bring the sticks out wider. So from here, drive the sticks down, bring that left knee up, keep it in the middle. The knee should never drift towards either stick. Externally rotate, push. Good. Internally rotate. Externally rotate. Internally rotate here. Push against that stick. Good. Externally rotate. Internal. Externally rotate. Internally rotate. Back to center, down nice and slow, and ease off. Good. All right, so now this is where we're going to get into the split squat variation. So for this, we want to make sure that as we go into this, we're driving the stick down, That's the main objective here, not fully the position in the sense that we're not really necessarily moving a lot, but we're gonna ramp up the tension as we go along with this drill here. Meaning, for every rep, we're gonna slowly increase the amount of force that we're generating. So every repetition is gonna be a little bit of a long one. So we're gonna do 5 reps per side, and we're gonna start with our left foot forward first. Now, we're gonna be down in that bottom position of the split squat. If you're having any issues or any pain in the knees or anything like that, reduce the range of motion, all right? So I'm gonna start with my left foot forward and my right foot back. I wanna have my right foot back, whatever's comfortable. Some people are really good going a little bit more narrow. Some people prefer going a little wider. But when I get down to that bottom position, hovering my knee, I wanna make sure I can keep a nice tall posture here. Now from this position, I'm gonna have my hands are at chest height, and I'm gonna squeeze that right glute, make sure I'm locking my hips into extension. Now we're gonna start driving the stick down 30%, so push the stick into the floor. You're gonna feel the core turn on, up to 40%, 50%, 60, 70, 80, 90, and slowly ease off, stand up. Good. We're gonna do that again. So like I said, we're gonna ramp up as we stay in the position here. Drop that back knee down. Same thing, 30% push. Make sure that right glute is tight. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and ease off and stand up. Good. We got 3 more reps here. You should be feeling both quads working, but that back leg, you're probably gonna feel a bigger stretch and a much more higher workload there. Let's drop that back knee down, get to position, 30% push, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, ease off, stand up. We got 2 more. You should be feeling the core tissues really kicking in here. Drop down, same thing, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, make sure you're breathing, 90, ease off, stand up. One more time. I know 5's a lot. Last one. Get in position. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, ease off, and stand up. Now we're gonna switch sides, so I'm gonna show this from the front now. So the difficulty or that effort should be increasing as we go along here. So I'm calling out the percentages because I want you to ramp up as you're in that position. So it's gonna get a little bit more challenging as we go along. So now I'm gonna go with my right foot forward, left foot back. We're gonna do that same thing. So switch your hands. So my right hand was stacked over my left. Now my left hand's gonna be stacked over my right. Figure out what positioning is most comfortable for you. Drop that back leg down. Keep that knee in alignment with the mid toes here. Ready, 30%, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Good, ease off, stand up. Excellent. Let's go into it again. Drop that back knee down. 30%. 40, make sure you're squeezing that left glute. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Ease off, stand up. We got 3 more here, folks. Drop that back leg down. 30% push. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Ease off, stand up. We got 2 more. Your quads, everything should be pretty lit up right now. I promise you, I'm struggling here too. Get down position, 30%, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Ease off, stand up. Last one here, folks, promise. Let's get down in position. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Ease off, stand up, and relax. Take a second, shake everything out. Now we're gonna go to the floor, and we're gonna do, we're basically called toy soldiers, where it's gonna be a core drill, but we're gonna be driving a 6 into our foot here. We're gonna be mobilizing, so it's gonna be a pretty challenging one. Now, we're gonna need 2 long sticks here. So, for this, the main objective is to keep your lower back flush to the floor, almost as if there's a marshmallow under your back. You wanna crush that thing. So, if it's too challenging, or the positioning is a little bit too hard to keep, you can always just hold a hollow out position. So think of this as a progression. So I'm gonna go to the floor here. I'm gonna kind of go a little bit of a side angle. Now, I'm gonna have bottoms of the stick and the tops of both feet here. Now, my hands are gonna be at about shoulder, right over my shoulders, or think about kind of shoulder height, if you will. You want to keep your ankles dorsiflexed. That's important. You don't want your ankles to be extended or plantar flexed. Now, to get in position, first thing I want to do is I want to drive my lower back to the floor. So I'm going to tuck my pelvis to keep that contact with the low back here. Now, from this position, I'm going to bring my upper back off the floor a bit, and then I'm going to drive the sticks down into the tops of my feet. Now I'm going to bring both feet off the floor. Lower back stays in contact, folks. Now I'm going to bring that right foot up. Good. Switch. Left foot comes up. Right foot comes down. Switch. Right foot up. Switch. Left foot up. Good. Bring the left foot back down and ease off. Excellent. So, you know it's going to be a lot harder to create that tension as one foot comes up. So you're going to need to drive down the stick a lot harder and making sure you're holding that, creating that tension in the core and that anterior line. So let's go again. Tuck the pelvis, drive the sticks down, feet off the floor, right foot up. Left foot, right foot, left foot, back down, ease off. Excellent. Take a second, let's get one more here. And the reason why we're doing 2 is just really challenging to do sets of 5 for this one. All right. Tuck the pelvis, lower back into the floor, upper back off the floor, drive the sticks down, hover the feet, right foot, left, right, left, down, ease off. Good. Whew. All right. So, going to place both long sticks down. We're going to go with the short stick. So, that drill in particular is a very, very challenging drill. So, like I mentioned, as you're doing that one, if it's too challenging for you to maintain that lower back contact, do not be afraid to just hold a hollow out position. If that's already as much of a challenge, then you should want to stick with that one. All right. So the last thing we're going to do is just going to work on rotation as we're actually driving the stick down. So I'm actually going to go with the shorter stick here. And it's going to be very similar to a standing plank, but just think of a standing rotating plank. So feet be roughly about hip, shoulder width. Feet are facing forward. Stick's angled in towards me. So not a ton, but enough, right? So we want to make sure we're going with that natural arm line. So from here, hands are going to be roughly about shoulder height. I want to keep my legs locked out, shoulders down. I'm going to tuck the pelvis or squeeze my glutes as usual. And I'm going to drive the stick down about 60%. Now I'm going to start to rotate the stick and my shoulders to the left without rotating my hips. I'm going to bring it back forward. Now rotate to the right. Now as you rotate, you're going to feel your obliques, but also your lats. Back to center. Rotate to the left. Good. Right. Good. Left. Right. Back to center. And ease off. Okay, let's go one more time. We're going to up that tension to 80%. Also, if you feel like you're going to, the stick's going to slide out or whatever the case is, you want to make sure that you always have the tension driving in a direction of where the bottom of the stick is, just to keep it really, really simple. I'm actually going to switch my hands here. So legs locked out, squeeze the glutes, nice good tall position, drive that stick down 80%, rotate to the left first. Notice my rotations are under control. I'm not going fast. My movement speed is actually relatively slow. I want to make sure I can control my body, but also control the movement in the core as well as we go into it. Back to center, right. Good, left. Right. Back to center and ease off. Whew. Take a second. Share everything now. Now we're going to start to get into working with this deep fascial stretching. So again, we're still going to focus on that superficial front line. All right. So we're going to need both long sticks here. So I'm going to place the short stick down. What we're going to do here is we're going to focus on opening up a front line by doing a human flag. So I'm gonna take a pretty wide stance here. So your stance width, this is always gonna depend on what's most comfortable for you. Is going wide, or this is a little bit too uncomfortable, so you get pinching in the hips or anything like that, you can always move your stance in. If you're super flexible, you can always go out wider, all right? So I do want my feet to be pointed forward. Both sticks are gonna be on the inside of both feet here. My hands are gonna be about roughly about face height. We'll say face height instead of chin height. So from here, I wanna drive the sticks down about roughly 30%. I'm going to hinge back and allow my hands to come forward. So kind of get a little bit of extension, opening everything up, still driving those sticks down. Now I'm gonna squeeze my glutes and drive my hips forward and lean back, bringing those sticks back behind me. Good, I'm gonna come back forward. Excellent. Make sure you breathe. Squeeze those glutes. So driving those sticks down. Excellent, let's go one more time. Drive those hips back. Breathe. Squeeze the glutes. Drive those hips forward. Excellent. Slowly come out of it and ease off. Wiggle those feet in. Now I'm going to place one stick down. What we're going to do here is we're going to do basically a standing hip flexor stretch. We're going to work with really lengthening that anterior line. We're going to do this from a standing position as opposed to a kneeling position. So I'm going to take a pretty big split. You can always change the distance of your feet if need be, but I want to go with a relatively big split because I do want to make it so I'm actually really getting to that stretch position. The main objective here is that we're tucking the pelvis to achieve that stretch in the front of the hip. All right, and you want to keep that back heel high, so we're not actually going to drop that back heel to the floor, but we are going to use it as a way to kind of get that hip extension here. So I want to have the stick lined up with about midfoot, or where the arch of my foot is on my front foot. I'm going to have both hands roughly about chest or rib cage height, and so I'm going to load that front leg, all right? So my left knee is stacked over my left ankle. This front knee doesn't move back or forward. It just stays exactly where it's at. Now, with my back leg, you're gonna notice that it's bent. I'm gonna lightly drive the stick down about 20% tension. I'm gonna drive that right heel back, squeezing that glute, tucking the pelvis, and then I'm gonna ease off by bending my back knee again. So drive that right heel back, tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glute, feel the stretch in the hip. You're gonna ease off. That's 2. Drive the heel back, tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glute. That's 3. Let's go 2 more. Let's drive that heel back, tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glute. 4. One more time. Drive the heel back. Excellent. 5. And ease off. And now we're gonna switch sides. So I'm gonna face forward here. Now again, you're gonna notice what you should be feeling is a big stretch on that hip flexor, those anterior tissues. Now just driving the stick down, this kind of further connects that anterior line. So right foot is forward, same thing. Load that front leg. Right knee stacked over the ankle, it stays there, doesn't move. So from here, back leg is bent. Drive the stick down, drive that left heel back, squeeze the glute, tuck the pelvis. Good, bend the knee, ease off. Let's go again. Drive that left heel back. Good, 2, ease off. Drive the left heel back. 3, good, ease off. 2 more, drive the heel back, tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glute. 4, ease off. 1 more time, drive the heel back, tuck the pelvis, squeeze the glute. 5, excellent. Ease off and relax. Good. Okay. So now we're gonna take the second stick. We're gonna need the long stick here. We're gonna get into a double hang, but we're gonna have a little bit more emphasis on rotating side to side. So, sticks are gonna be angled out like so. I wanna have my right foot forward. Now you can always wiggle your left foot back or wiggle your back foot back a little bit more to get into a position where you're actually hanging. It's important that you're actually getting a hang in the hands here. Now my both hands are up top on the stick. Now I'm gonna get set into a big split position, and I'm gonna slowly drop that back leg down, getting into a hang. Just gonna hold this position for a few seconds. Then I'm gonna ease off. I'm gonna switch sides. So you're gonna notice that we're also getting a little bit of stretch in the hips here if you're really tight. Same thing. So switch sides. So now left leg is forward, drop down into a hang. 3, 2, 1, excellent. Back up. We're gonna switch sides. Now we're gonna add in the rotations. So I'm gonna bring my left foot back. Gonna get into a hang. Drop that back knee down. Now from here, drive the sticks to the ground about 20%. And I'm gonna rotate to the right or towards my front leg. Now I'm gonna come back forward and I'm gonna rotate away from that front leg. Driving my right hand forward, reaching my left hand back. Back to center, rotate to the right. Drive that left hand forward, right hand back. Good, rotate the other side 1 more time. Excellent. Back to center, ease off, stand up, shake your hands out if you need to. We're gonna switch sides here. Right, let's go ahead and sink that back leg down, get into a hang, drive the sticks down, rotate to the left. Good. Now to the right. Hips shouldn't move. Only get movement from the spine. Rotate to the left. Excellent. Now to the right. Back to center. Ease off and relax. Excellent. Shake the hands out a little bit. Now we're gonna go switch over into working with the short stick. So earlier we did some dislocates, mostly in the aspect of activating, but now we're actually gonna go through a full dislocate. So if at any point you're getting any pinching in your shoulder, any pain, or the range of motion is not there, reduce it. Do not go into range of motions that obviously cause you any pain or you have to force it and you're in funky positions. So I'm gonna go with the side view. Feet are gonna be roughly about hip width apart, toes are pointed forward. Another objective here, squeeze the glutes, hips don't move, right? It shouldn't be a back and forward as we're going through the dislocates here. I'm gonna grip out wide on the stick here. So this is a short stick. I'm gonna grip out wide. You can always use a longer stick if you need to go out wider. I'm gonna squeeze my glutes, so I'm gonna be in a nice and tall position. With my thumbs facing in towards one another, I'm gonna pull the stick apart about 30%, keeping my arms straight, and I'm gonna bring the stick up overhead and come back. If you can touch your glutes or your hips, do so, and then come back up and over. Still pulling apart the entire time. And he's off. We're only gonna do a couple more here. Pull the stick apart. Come up nice and slow. Keep those glutes tight. Back up and over. And ease off. Excellent. Let's go one more time. Pull the stick apart, squeeze the glutes, keep those hips in extension, slowly bring it up overhead. Good. Back up and over. And ease off. Okay. Just take a second here. So to finish off, we're going to stretch out the neck tissue. So we're going to get those anterior tissues in the neck here. You're probably going to feel a little bit kind of going down the sternum. So I'm going to take the long sticks. Sorry, I know I'm switching sticks a lot here, folks. So for this, we're going to have our hands roughly about shoulder height. It's important that we keep track of the neck position. So again, kind of like earlier, we want to keep that neck extension almost like you're basically creating a double chin. All right. So from here, feet are pointed forward, roughly hip width. Sticks are going to be angled in towards your feet. Again, hands are roughly about shoulder height. Now from here, again, still in a nice tall position, so squeeze the glutes, drive the sticks down, only about 20%. I'm gonna pull my chin back into extension. Now I'm gonna bring my chin up towards the ceiling. As I do that, slightly increase the tension on the sticks by driving them down a little harder. Come back down, nice and slow, and ease off. Now we're going to add in a rotation as we get into full extension here. So drive the sticks down lightly, chin back, squeeze the glutes, bring the chin up, rotate to the right, left, center, down, ease off. Let's go one more time. Drive six down, chin back, up, right, left, center, down, ease off. Excellent. And that, my friends, concludes today's stick mobility class. Thank you for joining me today. Not gonna lie, it feels really, really good to be back. I hope everybody had a good class. And as usual, stay safe and have a good Saturday.